Daniel 7, prophecy of end times, often referred to as Little Revelation. Daniel chapters 1 to 6 are historical. He served kings for 65 years, and Daniel chapters 7 to 12 are prophetic. Some things have not been fulfilled yet. There are things not fulfilled in our lifetime. Chapters 7 to 12 are not in chronological order. Pay careful attention to verse 1. Belshazzar dies in chapter 5. This dream actually happens in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, grandson of King Nebuchadnezzar. Belshazzar dies in chapter 5 of Daniel. So it's not in chronological order. In Daniel chapter 5, Belshazzar is king and is killed, and Darius is made king. The visions and dreams that Daniel has are so dramatic and overwhelming and intense. He writes in chapter 8, verse 27, "And I, Daniel, fainted and was sick for days. Afterward I arose and went about the king's business." He was so astonished it made him physically ill. He writes about the New World Order, but he doesn't use that term. Part of the New World Order arises when the Antichrist is coming. He might already be here, or maybe not even born yet. This man will have the spirit of Satan, a world dictator known as Antichrist. He will oppose God and demand to be worshipped himself. Daniel writes about him in chapter 7 and 8. In chapter 7, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Here are the descriptions of the images Daniel sees. Notice he describes like a lion, like a bear, like a leopard, like a beast. Verse 17 are representatives of kingdoms led by 4 kings. Verse 17, these great beasts, which are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. A best guess scenario could be lion, a British-American alliance. A lion is standing up on his hind legs. A lion is the symbol of Great Britain. The eagle is America's symbol. The wings get plucked and separated from the lion. It could be America and Great Britain. Bear. Russia is their symbol, so it could indicate Russia. Leopard with 4 heads. Could be an alliance with 4 Islamic states, Central Asia or the Middle East, or perhaps an African conglomeration. Beast with 10 horns. seem to point to 10 nations, a European confederation. The book of Revelation speaks of a time when the world will be divided into 10 geographical regions, dominated by 10 kings or dictators. This is the mentality on borders. Currently, ours in the United States is wide open. Let me quote Jean-Claude Juncker, President of the European Commission, on August 2nd, 2015. Borders are the worst invention ever made by politicians, end quote. There's a movement afoot playing right into this 10-nation geographical regions. In Austria 2016, Mr. Juncker used the word anti-nationhood and in favor of moving the EU towards globalization. ABC News reported a leaked email sent by Hillary Clinton to a Brazilian bank. Quote, "My dream is a hemispheric common market with open borders and open trade," end quote. In verse 8, one will speak boastful words. This is the Antichrist. The Antichrist is super religious but very anti-God, charismatic, political, and he's opposed to the things of Christ. Revelation 13 tells us in verses 5 and 6, "And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven." The Antichrist's mission is to rule the world under his leadership, to offer a false peace. As part of his peace, he will offer making Jerusalem a central place of worship for the Jews. The ambition of the Antichrist is to be worshiped like God. This was his ambition when God threw him out of heaven, and 1/3 of the angels went with him, demons. Ultimately, Satan will face condemnation. He will be taken captive and cast into the lake of fire. And the kingdom of our God will reign forever and ever and ever, and of his kingdom there will be no end. Chapter 7, verses 10 through 12 in Revelation reads, "And cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders and the 4 beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces, and worshipped God, saying, Amen, blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever. Amen." Christ returns, he defeats the Antichrist. And in Revelation 19, the beast, which is the Antichrist and the false prophet, these two were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with fire and brimstone. Daniel sees the return of Christ. Daniel 7, verses 13 and 14 reads, "I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed."